Hello there, ladies, gentlemen and unicorns. Welcome to another stream at a somewhat unusual time. It's not that unusual, I've regularly been streaming at this time of day, but again I thought, since my wife is at work, I thought it would be nice if I stream a little bit sooner and see different people in the chat. So right now it's just the 5 of us, so 4 viewers, probably one is me and another Tab. But anyway, yeah, I'm very glad that you all could make it, despite this weather. I don't know how the weather is on your end, but here it's very humid, very hot, and there's a thunderstorm inbound, so I will knock on wood that things will get a bit cooler here. Some other things, I hope it's not too audible on the sound, because I'm running my ventilator there, my fan, because it's so hot in here. I really need something to keep me cool and refreshed. And the other thing is, there's a fly in this room, and I tried to catch it. I've managed to eject 3 flies before this stream, so I was running around the apartment, and beautiful. And we got an airplane, so again, things that are flying giving me grief today. So yeah, but one fly, I couldn't get it. I somehow trapped it here, so if I make some jerky movements, it's I'm trying to get the fly spooked. I don't know. So with that out of the way, yeah, how was your week so far? With me, it was very hot. I mean, it's summer after all, and climate change and everything, and global warming, so it was super hot. And I returned from vacation on Wednesday, and at work, it's always nice when you return from vacation and you realize, yeah, it's the time that you kind of dread, because all the work has piled up, and it took me hours to just get through my inbox and have meetings and so on. So yeah, I already feel like I could take another vacation, but I mean, that's life, right? And at least I had this wonderful weekend, so I'm all set for some very chill, relaxed, but also probably creative writing slash programming slash streaming session. Right, we're down at 3 viewers, which is fine. So yeah, what am I going to do today? For those who are watching this on a VOD, from my regular viewers, so that you know what you have missing, or what has been going on since the last time. Let me switch over. So yeah, again, I'm continuing with my detective Twine game. So let's open this up, and this is the current state. If you've watched the last time and paid close attention, not a lot has changed. What has changed relatively, well, not substantially, but to quite an extent, is the CSS of the entire game. So yeah, I got, as I've mentioned, I got different fonts, then I got passages that I can indent, which is very helpful. Especially if you do some direct speech and dialogue going on. So in general, it should feel a bit more novel-like, and to get the page width down, because otherwise the page would just scale, there's the camera, scale with the monitor resolution. I mean, yeah, that's the default, right? And I just maxed it at what you would have in a A5 paperback. So I typed one paragraph there and just played around with CSS until I got the line, essentially the lines match up. Right, so is there still a quiz going on in the background? No, there is not. Because, Frank said that he's a bit busy today, so he couldn't play as usual. But I think by now, Frank, you already know all the answers to the questions. And I didn't have any time, at least I completely forgot about adding new questions to the mix. So yeah, maybe I will add some more questions to the pop quiz. Right, okay, so yeah, essentially it's just making everything look a bit nicer and more organized. And yeah, this is the fade ins and fade outs that are going on. So yeah, let me just quickly show you the current state of the game. There, come on, tab, there we go. Oh, beautiful. The fly just found my toes, so yeah, it's going to be a bit annoying today. So yeah, let me zoom this up, but you can see the lines don't really change when I zoom in and zoom out. So I think ideally this is how I would enjoy, or how I would want the game to be played. So it's not that you play it at I don't know, 8K screen and it looks like this, but essentially I want it to feel pretty much like this, so that you have here maybe a bit smaller, where you can expand some of those menus here at the sides. But as a developer, this is how I envision the game to be played, so that it's super easy and good on the eyes to read. And one change that you might have noticed is that I have now here a bulleted list, an itemized list for when you get multiple choices, that you can pick one, and it's also a hanging indent and so on. So yeah, let's just go through this. So you pick a name, and here it displays your license a bit nicer this time than I had it before. I think this has also been since last week or 2 weeks already. My god, time flies when you're having fun. Right, so essentially, yeah, anything that you can change within a page, within a passage, as it's called in Twine, is white, and everything to advance the story to the next passage is yellow. So that means you can't go back. And you also have, as here, you have to choose something that you can't go back. I mean, you can of course go back in the menu here of the game, but I'm not quite sure if I want to allow it through the entire game. Right, so I've set my character, and we've already have here an inventory item, the wallet that we just picked up. And right, let's make it like a tree and leaf. And the fly is right between my fingers. Beautiful. This is not going to be fun today. Now it's on my screen. Really, it's sitting on my shoulder. I'm not sure if you can see this. No, it was here on my shoulder. Good grief, I'm not too happy about this. Right, so if we take our keys to our office, and right now it's not possible to miss your keys, because only if you get your gun and the keys, then you get to step outside. Right here, also did some minor CSS tweaks, mostly to have this drop-down menu also be in the color of the paper, because this one here is intended to be printed, it's or typed essentially. So of course I also want here the background to be of this whitish color, because before that it was gray. So yeah, it's just CSS, and one reason is that I don't like about this passage here is that it's just a bit too long. That if you don't notice here that this scroll bar just popped out, you probably would miss that after you've picked, or you threw the letter away. Maybe that when it says throw away, I go to the next page or something, or next passage, because yeah, you didn't see to catch your train. And this is the prologue, and there is the fly on my Wii again. And we begin the first chapter. And this is where we stopped the last time, where we could choose how to respond to the lift boy that's in our office building, or in the it's in our office building, the building where we have our office in this game. And hey, Mr. Last. The thing is, why the lift boy is calling us Mr. Last is because currently it's first Nick, last is our name, because I have this debugging data structure that overrides whatever you picked as a name. Go away, fly. Right, and now we have 3 different responses to the kid. It's none of your business if you want to be a prick. Doing great, kid, if you're friendly, or if you want to just ignore the kid. Whatever you pick will be stored, but for now it was just a little bit of writing. The last time you probably recall that I didn't much do writing, just laid out what would happen. So it's, if you're not friendly to the kid, it's none of your business, and the kid comes back at you, so it's might something that you probably want to avoid or not, because again, I'm designing this as I go along essentially, so I don't know if there will be a callback, but I've mentioned multiple times I'm always always super happy if I can do some callbacks to what a player has done previously, because I feel like when I'm playing something like this, I always feel, oh cool, the game remembers and it really reacts to my choices. Frank says, stuff is done, I can now pay a bit more attention. Congratulations. Would you want to share what kind of mysterious stuff you were up to, or is it just private stuff and you're not feeling and you don't feel to share it with the entirety of 3 viewers? So if we're friendly to the kid and just saying, doing great, kid, again, it's the game just keeps track of you, but in the end you end up where you belong, and that is on your office floor, and you can unlock your office. Last time, you can see here now, this is where the story stops. You open the office with your keys. We had this the last time here, that when we were, I was just trying to make an inventory check if the office keys are in the inventory, and I do this by setting their location, because each item is essentially it's a one singleton object in JavaScript, and it has here this location property, and if it's of location lock.i for inventory, then it means it's in the inventory. So yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. And Frank did not specify the stuff, which is fine. Of course, I don't want to pressure you into oversharing anything. Right. So what's my plan for today with this game? I don't quite know. I mean, we can take a look around our office, and to describe this, and to maybe I want, since I want this to be some sort of a text adventure, and is par for the course with adventures, it's always about some sort of fun little puzzles for players to solve. So yeah, so far it was just pick something, but you can't do anything wrong, or you don't have to understand a certain situation or a certain puzzle. And yeah, this is I think a good place where I, as a player, after playing here the intro, where I'm just setting up my character essentially, where I want to introduce some sort of excuse me, some sort of a puzzle, but I don't quite have an idea what. But this is cool. I mean, after all, this is the way how I want to develop this thing, is just one step after the other, and then just see where things lead me. Right. Okay. So again, what I already have here set is this inventory check. So maybe it should be something that involves that we have in the inventory, or maybe that we need to get an item in our inventory to unlock something. I've written some time, I think it's already 3 or 4 years ago, on Gamma Sutra, an article. I think, I'm not quite sure if that one was published or not. Anyway, where I thought, or yeah, my thesis was that pretty much all adventure games that we know as adventure games are mostly, at least the graphical adventure games, are mostly finding the right keys for the right door. So essentially it's just failing until you have the right key for the right door. And with this game, I want it to be maybe a bit more systemic, which means that certain items that you have in your inventory have different properties. And if you need maybe to I don't know, to throw in a window or break some glass, what you need is a heavy object that's not too heavy that you can't throw it, or not too bulky or something. So where I want to say, okay, an object is maybe it's heavy, it's pointy, and it's transparent. I don't know what this could be, but you could use it, of course, for situations where you need something pointy and heavy, or where you need something that's transparent but also pointy. I don't know, but yeah, at least this is the idea for this. Did I lay the groundwork for this? Absolutely not. If I show you how I set up the items currently, if I zoom in, all the items have just one flag to specify whether it's a container or not. Okay, it's 2 flags, and whether they are visible or not, because I want to didn't have this implemented, but I also already want to have certain objects that you need to make visible some way, or that aren't visible currently in the current state of the game, because but they already have a location. That's the gist of it. So each item has a location, and the visible flag essentially tells you if something is visible, then you can interact with it or pick it up, or just see it. And the other things is just for writing purposes. So it's just the name, then with different kinds of articles and different kinds of if it's a definite article or an undefined article. I don't know of what's the proper grammatic term for this. I'm struggling with this even in German. And a possessive article and so on. So just to make things easier when writing, or when you have plural, or maybe if they're long in the future, there is the idea maybe to localize it. So the idea is to make this a bit easier for everything. And at the end of setting up here all the items that I have in the game currently, is here at the bottom include DB item locations, and the item locations are just telling each item, adding a new property of location, essentially just storing where it is. And this was also just to try out how this container thing works. So if an item is a container, you can set its content, and the content is just an array of other items, references to other items. So that's it in the practice. Right, okay, so and thanks for feeding the automated unicorn. By the way, I said unicorn so often, and as you know, this wonderful drinking game that I completely forgot about after about 2 weeks is whenever I utter the word unicorn, I should have a sip of water, and maybe so should you, because it's fun and healthy to stay hydrated. Cool. Right, so as for those items, Frank says, I replied about what I was doing in the wrong chat. This also once happened to me, especially when you're using your messenger, not on your phone, but on the desktop version, and then you type something maybe to your wife, and it ends up in a streamer's chat, which happened where I said to a streamer, I think once, okay, love you, bye. And yeah, this was a while back, but it was super embarrassing. So I haven't been to this guy's stream ever since. Frank said, well, nothing too important really what he was doing. It was a Sudoku that I had started already, and I happen to care about the time on this one. It's the daily Sudoku on a Discord I'm on. Oh, that's cool. So you're a Sudoku pro, I would assume, especially if you're doing timed Sudokus. That's something I didn't know, that there was some Sudoku speedrunning. I mean, for me, frankly, I never got into Sudokus. For some reason, I always... what I don't like personally about Sudoku is that unless you're really good and you already know some of the patterns, you just have to try something out and then erase and slowly inch your way there. And I like things where I know for a fact, okay, so this is a definite fact that I can pencil in or even ink in, because I'm sure that this is correct and I don't ever need to erase it anymore, and work my way from there, and then have things fall into place. Excuse me. And yeah, personally, this is why I never came into got hooked on Sudoku, despite being quite addicted to those engrams, or is it called engrams, or am I mistaking for something else? The Nintendo Picross, if anyone, or Picross, if anyone knows this, let me Google that for you. Picross. This thing here, right? Where it just tells you a number of filled blocks in this row and number of connected blocks in this row, and you have to figure it out by yourself. And in the end, it makes little pixel art. And I think what I like about this is that it's pixel art in a sense. But the one that I can recommend to you is the one from Kenny. You might know Kenny from Kenny Assets, and they released a Steam version of that game. I think now I have to check, because I don't want to say something that's completely false. Let me see if I find it. It's been a while. Yeah, it's Pixross. There we go. It's Pixross. And yeah, it's quite fun, and I got all the achievements already because yeah, I was a bit obsessed with that game for 20.6 hours. Frank says, far from pro apart Sudoku. Yeah, I mean, to me, everyone's a pro who can beat me, so pretty much everyone's a pro. There's ones I do in 10 minutes and that others I do in 2 or worse. My god, this is again, I tried some simple Sudoku and it took me half an hour or so. Granted, I mean, you have to start somewhere, but I never crossed the territory where I thought this is fun, and instead I shifted to Mahjong, if you know this Japanese tile matching game. I mean, yeah, I know that Mahjong can also be played. The actual Mahjong is a multiplayer game that you play on a table, I think. But yeah, I'm more interested in this, what's called also Shanghai solitaire game, which is super addictive, especially if it's timed. Right. So thinking in terms of puzzles. I'm pretty sure I won't come up with a super intricate puzzle for players, but the other thing that I want to try with this game is maybe to play a bit with text, where there are hidden links somewhere in the text, and I don't know how to teach this to players, because usually when you read something on a web page, let me just launch the game again. When you read something on a web page and you see, okay, those are links down here, but you probably wouldn't think of clicking some of the words or some of the letters as links if they don't get underlined or the cursor changes to this little, there you go, from this side to this little hand. So yeah, I thought maybe play around with links that are hidden in words or something, so where you have to pay close attention. For example, maybe it's a bookshelf with a a hidden book that if you just slightly pull it opens a secret passage somewhere. I mean, yeah, that's just a stereotypical example, but maybe you can examine the bookshelf and it just says a book, and you can click each book, but one book, the word book, is written differently. Maybe the O is a 0 or something, or it has a slightly different colored text. So it's and with the other books that you click, it just generates a random title for this book. So maybe this is also something that we can try and build. Frank continues and says, when I say 10 minutes, it's the really easy ones. I've also spent 4 hours on some things. Where it gets fun for me is variants, where there are some extra rules. Oh, I've heard from some super clever Sudoku, where I think was this. Oh my god, I can hear already the storm picking up outside. Where there was just one single number in one of the fields, and I think this the Impossible Sudoku or something where I've seen this. You probably know which one I mean, and it's super interesting to watch someone explain how they figure out how to fill it up. And again, to me, doing it myself is not really fun. But it's super nice. It's like watching a speed run. It's super interesting and super rewarding to watch someone else perform at something. And you just sit there. Wow, it's amazing. Right, so cool. So this is some of my random design ideas I have for this game. Also maybe some random text changes. Well, random text changes, I need to elaborate on this. Some where the text changes on certain conditions that are met. For example, here it says here in the apartment where it's now it doesn't hover. Sorry. So there it says sunny. It doesn't say sunny when I zoom in again. So yeah, when you hover over the emoji there, it says sunny and the other says morning. So maybe if you come back to certain locations, things change, and even if it's just the text description of where you arrive. Right, okay, so let's come up with some sort of a puzzle for the office building, where we enter our office and something is not correct. Maybe. And I'm just spitballing here, and maybe it could be that your office has been ransacked and you need in the long run just find out who was it and why, or maybe you don't care because you already know why, or at least your character does. And or the other thing is maybe the locks changed because you didn't pay and maybe the management just changed the locks, but of course it would be much easier to just throw you out without changing the locks. The other idea could be that you forgot your key. I mean, right now we've established that you get your key from your apartment, but maybe I could let the player forget their key or leave it at their place, at their apartment for their office, and then you have to pick the lock essentially. This could be a dialogue puzzle where you welcome back, fly. Seriously, it's sitting on the microphone. This is didn't catch it. maybe the constant airstream from the fan will at least discourage the fly from landing there, I hope. That you need to pick the lock to your office, and I don't know how to make a lock picking mini game in a text game, but I mean we could give this a try, where you can, I don't know, get a bobby pin from the lift boy, and the lift boy only gives it to you if you've been nice to him, or maybe if you don't have been nice to him, he wants something else for it. But I'm just thinking about it, this opens a completely different can of worms, because if you need to trade something with the lift boy for something, then you're not sure to have it at the later stage when you probably need it. I mean, you could bribe the lift boy, because money is probably the easiest commodity in adventure games that you can pretty easy fill up and take away. So money is essentially the Swiss Army knife of problems, because if you have something that doesn't really where you don't need to have a specific object, you just say, yeah, this person is bribable, and you just give it money. Chocolate, says Frank, and you know what? I like your thinking, because that means it might already be something that we've established before, the vice of our detective. So I think this might be good, so that we have whatever our vice is, Artie, the lift boy, has also a similar vice. For example, if we're a smoker, then Artie asks for a cigarette. If we are a chocolate fiend, is this a word? Now it is. Then Artie wants a bar of chocolate, and if we are into bourbon, then Archie wants a drink from our flask. So yeah, and LadyMistLeaf is here. Wonderful, thank you so much for dropping by that early. I hope this didn't mess up your day planning. So I'm really appreciated you dropping by. Right, so cool. So I think maybe, you know what, MS Paint for the win. Let's try to draw something and find if I see a problem with that, or if this is the way to go. So we are here, and this is office 1. So this is the first time we arrive out of the elevator at the office, right? Then we want to open the office, or open our office. So let's say open office, not that one. But we can't, because it's locked. So yeah, the lightning bolt says it's locked. Yeah, I don't know. So then we have to return and find a way to pick it or get a lockpick. So we need to get lockpick, get lickpock, lockpick, and when we have the lockpick, then we can open it. So maybe say lockpick. But we only can get the lockpick from Artie or Archie. Did I call them Archie or Artie? I think Artie. And we need to trade something to get the lockpick, or we have been just nice. Hey, LadyMistLeaf. And if we have been nice, RT gives us a lockpick, and if not, right, we have to exchange something that we might be carrying. At this stage, of course, we're not carrying anything from our vice. He's called Dollar Lift Boy. Exactly. Yeah. It's always nice when you refer just to something by reference and not by value. Right. Then we get the lockpick, and from that there is whatever it shall be, the mysterious lock picking mini game, text based. We will come up with that once we need to. Right. So then of course there's let's shift this up and have get lockpick. Oh, I can hear another plane. Oh, damn you, plane. And of course, already in the brewing is thunderclouds. Right. RT. Maybe I should just call him RT. Probably not. So get lockpick. And no, this is not a very usable adventure game flowchart. So if what's his name, Ron Gilbert, ever sees this, I'm very sorry, Ron. But I think this just gives us a general idea. So we try. So first it says location if office keys. Yeah, we're not checking the office keys location, but I'm just lifting this entire code block. And where's my Notepad++? There is my Notepad++, and just park it there. Maybe I need it later for something. It's always good to have something open in Notepad++, especially because as much as I enjoy Twine, it's not the best editor there. And creaky chair, wonderful. Right. So we just I just leave this if check here, and this if check, I will zoom in that you can read along a bit. And this if check here will just check for if office unlocked. I'm not touching anything. I don't know why it just keeps bouncing around. If office unlocked, then you enter the office, and otherwise we need our office key. Right, so I've specified the tags for this stream that it will be game development, programming, and creative writing. But right now I'm not feeling creative writing. For now I want to get the structure down. So for that I'm taking a page out of the book of how they did, how CD Projekt did the quest design for The Witcher. Because if you design a quest, of course you need a writer to make something nice, or to make the text nice and readable, and I'm not touching anything. Let me zoom out. So what the quest designers did, they came up with the quests, and instead of writing a dialogue, stand-in dialogue essentially, they would just write in third person, where it says, Geralt says that he needs to find this, and the other person replies that he needs to go to the lost lumber mill. I don't know, I haven't played the game. But I think if I just find a similar approach, so just that I write what happens and I will fill in the gaps later, I think this is a good place to go for us to continue. Right. And the automated unicorn cuddles with its comfy blanket. Isn't this cute? I'm sorry if I'm constantly scratching my nose. I think it's the change in weather. This is something that's constantly each year giving me grief, is my itchy nose when the weather changes. Maybe it's the iron in the nose tip, who knows what's in there. Right, so that I know that this is just something that happens is office unlocked. I put it in parentheses essentially, and else office is locked, you need to get a key, or maybe if I already write you need to get a key, maybe it sends players to the wrong track. Maybe it says, yeah, I need to find a different way or another way to open this lock. You have to, I've realized it just from being a player, that with your hints or when something is not working in an adventure, you have to be super precise in terms of, yeah, not giving players or making them leading them onto a wild goose chase. For example, if I say the office is locked, I need to find another way in, players would think, okay, then I probably need to go out of the building and onto the fire escape and somehow get through the window in. Or when I say, yeah, I need a key or something else, then players probably are stuck their mind on that they need to find a key. And even if it's a perfectly serviceable bobby pin that they find, maybe it's not the first thing that they would think of, because again, if you get something that doesn't work and it tells you why it's not working or gives you a suggestion, really the first thing that you read something is the strongest in your mind. So if it says you can't go that way, or you need to find another way, I don't think of finding another way to open the lock. I'm thinking of finding another way inside. Yeah, so I want to steer clear of that. LadyMistLeaf says, okay, so it took me 5 minutes to figure out what it was, but if you want to make flowcharts, you can always use draw.io. Oh, thank you. Let's all have draw.io. Let's have a look at draw.io. Save diagrams to decide later. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. I used, what was the name of this flowchart thing that from Microsoft that was deprecated, and I could work. MS Visio, I think it was called. But then my number one go-to for flowcharts is GraphWiz. I think that's what it's called, GraphWiz. For those who don't know. There we go. So it's essentially it's a scripting language for graphs. It's a bit like a LaTeX, if you know this, but mainly for graphs. And what I like about this is you just write down the dependencies and have the software itself figure out how to link everything. And as you know me, I want things to look nice, and yeah, then I'm all gone. But yeah, let's keep this untitled diagram open. I really like how it essentially mimics the look of all the Google Office software. But I have a keyboard with 105 keys. That should be plenty, says Frank. Yeah, why not use any key on a lock? I mean, of course, GraphWiz is the only option. I saw you use Paint earlier, so I thought you didn't have an alternative. I have plenty of alternatives, but I don't think of any alternative. And then, I mean, I could even have used Photoshop or something. But yeah, my good old go-to is paintbrush.exe since the old days of Windows 3.1. But it's good because I have never heard of diagrams.net, or what's it called? Draw.io. It's cool. So thanks again for the suggestion. So maybe let's try this out. So I put this here, and can I enter text and say exit elevator. Can you read this, or is this too small if I have it here? Just try. If I hold down Control, I'm not zooming the page, I'm zooming the diagram, but that's fine as well. So we exit the elevator, and then we have something that is office door, right? And from there, is this one? Is have lockpick. This is ugly. Have lockpick. There we go. And yes, open office. Not that one. And can I add here something? Text. Can I add here a label or something? Yes, I can. Yes. Okay, so this is super intuitive. Thank you again for the suggestion. And it integrates with your Google account. That's very cool. So this makes totally sense that it looks like it's Google, but it's is it Google? I'm not quite sure. It's diagrams.net, so is it Google? It's not Google. About us, about diagrams.net. Okay, this doesn't look like Google, but hey, that's cool. Because it looks so much like a Google Office program. So yeah, that's cool. You can save it in the Dropbox in your drive. And you can even save it probably as XML or download. Wonderful. And it's a .draw.io. So it's an XML. Cool, very cool. So if we have a lockpick, yes, but if we don't have a lockpick, then no. Then find task, find lockpick, and I'm not quite sure. Now I've changed the what's it called, the metaphor for this. So I started here with locations, and now I'm here a certain. Now this is not a location. I mean, this is a location, but this is a task now. So maybe I want to change this from task to have lockpick no. Ask RT. I can make this a bit smaller. Oh my god, again, I'm here at making things look nice. We're already there. We're already there. So ask RT and were nice to RT. This is ugly. What I did here. Were nice to RT. There we go. No. Okay, so this was, I need to double click the line, triple click. How many times do you need to click it? Can I just, I can just start typing. Okay, this is cool. It snaps to a great to look nice. I've noticed. Were nice to RT. No. Maybe we need to add another one of these. So now it's connected. It's super intuitive. I really like this. So very nice to RT. Gave item or bribe. Let's just go with bribe. Bribed RT. And if we say no, or maybe it's just, can I just click and hold where I want to drag this? Yes. This is fun. This is really fun. No. And I'm always hitting enter to confirm, but it's always a line break. There we go. Bribed RT. We're nice to RT. RT gives you lockpick. Whoop. There we go. Yes. Yes. And from there we can go back to the office door, and this doesn't look nice any longer. I'm really sorry for the sound. It's it's the seat. Yeah, this doesn't look too nice now. Can I probably do this? Yes, that's nicer. I gotta get going. I'm glad I could at least drop by for a little. Good luck with the game. Thank you so much for dropping by, and thank you so much for this wonderful recommendation for Draw.io. Again, I haven't heard of it before, so that's very cool. And this snapping function is super helpful. So from what I can see now, it's super fun to make little diagrams with it, or flowcharts in this case. Beautiful. Paper size is, of course, I'm here in Europe, so it's A4. Okay, and this is the page in its entirety. Okay, so this is also super nice. And maybe I should get rid of the line break, as always. So yeah, this is essentially the puzzle design we have currently. And design with air quotes, because it's not that good of a design. It's super simple essentially, but maybe it just gives us some more interactions with RT, right? So what have we coded so far? We have background color. We have exit elevator. Okay, so this is just for the font, the background. So we have the exit elevator and the office door, which is now we just see if we get a lockpick. And then have a lockpick, yes, open office. Well, it's not quite open office, it's lockpicking mini game. There we go. So this one is a big thing that we probably still have to do. Okay, so I have a lockpick. This is what we just checked, and now we need to go back to RT. So office is locked. You need to pick it because your key is at home. To do, have player forget key at home. Right, and so then it should prompt us to go back to RT. So essentially here in the flowchart of our actual game, I could of course say here, get back here to office building 2, but again this is just a very linear set of passages, and it's tempting to see them as locations, but it's much easier to see them just as paragraphs, because again we've been here in the elevator, but essentially what we've seen was a cutscene, depending on how we approached RT, but it's always going to be rewrite up the elevator with RT. So now what I need is the ability for players to walk back and forth between different locations. Essentially the entrance to the office where you're on a hallway, and the elevator where we can get RT, maybe even the lobby. I don't know why we need the lobby. So yeah, it's just 2 locations. Cool. Have a sip of water. And I can already see the color of the tip of my nose changing. Ah, wonderful. Right, so office building 3. Here we are, and then I say location, go to elevator, and I call this hub 1 because a player can walk around. No, I call this room because everything is a room in in adventure game engines. Room, elevator, and I call this not office building 3 but room, hallway. Right, so of course I need to change this here. Oh, this is nice. It already changed for me to room, hallway. I'm really sorry that this chair is so creaky. Good, so just need to make sure, because I mean those links get automatically changed if it's here in this markup, but if you use custom variables or something, then of course it does not get changed in Twine. So I need to quick find here office building 2, and where do I have this match? It's none of your business, kid. This is office building 1, and this is office building, oh, of course office building 2 still exists. It was just office building 3. So right, we are here in room 3, hallway, and there's thunder rumbling outside. Cool. I always am happy when it gets cooler, so I just hope that there is no lightning that strikes and everything is going to be offline. So at least that's not the case. At least knocking on wood, at least not now. Right, so room hallway, and if office is unlocked, or you know what, it's not if office is unlocked, but instead we want to check if we got the lockpick in our inventory. And I can close this abomination. And this is good that we saved this here, so I just say if item lockpick is in our inventory. This was the wrong passage. If item lockpick is on inventory, lockpicking minigame. And it's not office keys, but it's lockpick. Right, do we have the lockpick? Not even in our definition of items, so probably we should add this. So item, let's just add it here under the office keys. And I make it a bit bigger that you can read along. I will just copy and paste the office keys and say lockpick is container false, and the name is lockpick. A lockpick. Do you write this with a space? It's a lockpick, or is it a lockpick without space? I will keep it here without space. Your lockpick, the lockpick. Wonderful. And then of course I need to set the location for the lockpick, which I, as you remember, I've outsourced here. Lockpick location. And the location, I mean, since Artie is holding on to this lockpick, or it's essentially an object without a location, I will just go with location NPC. So maybe I can say it's a certain NPC, but right now it just means that whether we're checking if something is in the current location we're standing in or not doesn't matter, because it's of NPC. But of course we need to have this NPC type in the object $lock. So where does this happen? It happens here in this database locations. So I just add not lock, this is what we had, NPC, a character. There we go. Don't forget the comma, because this is JSON. And I think this should be good. So let's test this right here from Office Building 1. Start story here. And essentially, since we're not having the lockpick, unlock your office. Office is locked. Go to elevator. Cool. Okay, so this works, at least in theory. And not in theory, in practice. Right, so office is locked, and here go to elevator and then back to or call elevator. Here we are. You call the elevator with RT. Writing it, and I say no burr for no break, because I want to do my line breaks myself. And Automated Unicorn could go for some coffee. You know what, Automated Unicorn, so could I, but I already had one, and I'm trying to slim down a little bit after the corona, because I've gained some ungainly weight. So you call the elevator with RT, writing it, and then, okay, so we need to account for certain things. First one is, if we already got the lockpick, then maybe we should be even able to call it. I don't think we can even call it, because then we are here at the lockpicking minigame. But maybe we can later go out and go to this elevator again, so then we need to make sure that there is something to account for that. So you already got lockpick, but else, if we don't got the lockpick, then of course there is something else happening. So else ask RT for lockpick, And maybe we should also use this as its own passage, that we can handle it independent for the room this conversation happens in. So I will just say convo rt1, or that's the name, talk to rt. And then we have this conversation going on. So this is, let's make this cleaner here. We got the conversation with RT. Again, I say no break. And yeah, we got, I think it should be nice if we got different topics we can talk with RT. So already got lockpick. So when we already have the lockpick, we can't talk to RT. You know what? I think this doesn't make sense. We can, even if we have the lockpick, we can say thanks RT or something. So we can just say talk to RT. And then we are here, and this is in the conversation that's happening. Already got the lockpick. Say thanks. And then we go back to room. Or did I have here syntax highlighting? Room elevator. Wonderful. And of course, in the room elevator, we should also be able to go to room hallway. Go to hallway. So that we can go back and forth. And because I already have these as different choices, you know what, I will, again, we're just setting up the structure and I'm not doing any prettification at this point. Is this too small to follow along? Can I change here the editor size? Probably not. No, I'm sorry. So if it's too small, I will just hopefully remember to always zoom in and out. Right, so you can see here we got already some recursion going on here. But this is not what I want. So if we get the lockpick, I mean, we can always exit the location, the conversation, independent of how we are in the conversation. So if you already got the lockpick, okay, that was a close one. Maybe I should save. I mean, it auto saves. What's the worst that could happen? So if suddenly my stream cuts out for no reason, the reason is probably that we're having a power outage, and I will try to be back in 5 minutes or something, just to preface this. Right. Cool. So, where was I? We already got the lockpick. Say thanks. We don't need to ask him about the lockpick. Else, ask RT for lockpick, and RT's response depends on whether we have been nice or not. And maybe I should branch out the conversation from here. And I already see that this is going to be that dialog trees are a bit problematic in Twine, because I need another passage now to go to in this location or in this conversation. So yeah, let's try this, but I don't think there's a way around it. Ask RT for lockpick, and this is convo RT2, or it's convo RT1B perhaps. Yeah, let's go with 1B, that we can have multiple conversations with different depths of conversation. Okay, so here can we check if we were nice to RT, and we can check this by, depending on what we've picked, the lift boy attitude, as we call it, we have here rude, nice, and ignore. So ignore and rude is something that, of course, we want to check for. If lift boy attitude is equal to ignore, or can I use this, is, you know what, let's make this a switch lift boy attitude, and from there switch, we can end the conversation, and we do this by going also back to the room elevator. Room elevator and conversation. Right, then switch lift attitude, case ignore, case rude, not right, it's rude, and case nice. So if you have been nice, you had ignored RT. I forgot to zoom in, I just realized. So yeah, I hope you can follow with what I'm typing. Let me zoom in. You had ignored RT. You had been rude to RT, and you were nice to RT. You explain your sitch. RT gives you a lockpick. Then we set item lockpick location to lock.I. And that should be it. I mean, now we can even say include, was it F, update bar. And update bar just means it updates the sidebar, this thing here. Because I always want to give players instant feedback if they pick up something. It's not the next time they click on something, but as soon as they get it, it shows up on the sidebar. And I did this before here with something. This was the letter. This is you picked up something, set location to there, and where did I redraw this thing? Set gun locations at picked, remove class, include update bar. That's the one that I want. And update bar, you can see it here. It just draws the sidebar again, and the sidebar itself, of course, always checks what the player currently has in their inventory. Where was I? I was here. Include update bar. It was, yeah, without the typo, exactly what I had written. Right, okay, cool. And let's try this out from the top, how this works, or whether it works. So let's be rude. It's none of your business. We try to unlock the office. Office is locked. Call elevator. Call the elevator with RT, talk RT, or go to hallway. You know what, this, I mean, for now, this, let me make this a bit bigger. For now, this should be on, I mean, it's good for now, this is what I mean, but it should be on different lines, of course. So go to hallway, we can go back to hallway and the elevator, which is good. So let's talk to RT. Ask RT for lockpick, or we can go back to the good. So, how's it going? Convo RT1B, you had been rude to RT, end conversation for now. Okay, then let's try and restart. And now we'll say ignore. We ignore RT. I unlock my office. Everything is as it was before. You had ignored RT. Right. And when I've been nice, doing great, kid. Call elevator, talk to RT, ask RT for lockpick. You were nice to RT, you explain your sitch. RT gives you a lockpick. And does it show up here in the inventory? No, it does not. Ha, not good. What did I do differently? Did I mistype something? So this is why it's always good to do some testing. So when I pick up here something, set item gun location lock.I. Did I type something differently here? Set item gun dot location lock I lockpick. Did I, oh yeah, this was all caps and it shouldn't be all caps. Good catch. of myself this time. So here, let's try again. Be nice to him, unlock the office, call the elevator, talk to Artie. You were nice to Artie, explain this, and there is the lockpick in the inventory. We end the conversation, we go to the hallway, and the lockpicking minigame starts here. So this is almost working. I think the lockpicking minigame starts too soon. Room, hallway. You open the office, link to lockpicking minigame. There we go. I think this almost works now. What we don't have at this point is that we can give Artie something from our inventory, because we don't have it in our inventory. But I'm again, my mind is racing way past beyond where my mouth is. So what I'm thinking now is, depending on your vice, you can, or Artie wants either a cigarette or a bar of chocolate or some bourbon or a cigarette. Did I say cigarette before? I'm not quite sure. So I need to check for those in the inventory, but I just realized it. Maybe I have an item that's more or less an abstract item that's just called vice, at least here in the code, where you can offer one vice to Artie, and whatever your vice is, that would change, so that I don't have to have 4 objects in the inventory, and depending on which vice you pick, you 3 of them are essentially useless. But then again, I think it would be easier, because of course for cigarettes you can have a pack of cigarettes with a number of cigarettes in there. You can easily say, yeah, just one stick of bourbon or something. So yeah, let's make each one an individual item and go from there. So you know what, I will copy this entire thing here, edit it in Notepad, just that it's easier to follow along. Sugar cube, there we go. I mean, since this is JavaScript anyway, I can, yeah, this highlighting also works. You can see, for example, here with gun has a special item or a special property that says ammo. So right, so I will just copy lockpick and have it here. I mean, I can copy it as it is, that I can keep the indentation, and we just 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can have here what were the vices: alcohol, tobacco, chocolate, and what was the other one? Alcohol, tobacco, chocolate. It were 4 vices. I'm completely blacking out now. Let's check this. Character. Looks, vice. Oh, coffee. I forgot coffee. Wonderful. So flask. So in your flask in the game you can either have coffee or alcohol. So is container, let's say, you know what, again, my god, this kind of abstraction is always a bit picky, because the flask is a container, yes, but not a container in like it's a wallet that houses other items, unless I want to have an item there. So I just say is container false. So flask, not flask, flask. A flask, your flask, the flask, and let's say contents in percent, maybe have a percentage here in the flask. It's of 0.25%. So, and our village, is village a word for how full something is? Yeah, I just keep it filled. Yeah, let's go with filled. So, and it's containing either coffee or alcohol. And the other thing is pack of cigarettes, or just cigarettes, for lack of a better term. And now there are also, is it a container? Cigarettes. Let's go with cigarette pack, because then we can also say cigarettes, and maybe we have 3 left, right? So pack of cigarettes, a pack of cigarettes, your pack of cigarettes, the pack of cigarettes. Cool. And of course the last one that we have is chocolate. Again, it's this was what the terminology problem that I had 2 weeks ago, because as I said, in Germany, or in German essentially, we have when you have this big bar of chocolate, to us chocolate bars are just small bars, like a Snickers or something would be a chocolate bar, because it's a bar. And with where you have multiple bars stacked on top of each other, which we call ribs of chocolate, is just from this one big that we call table, or board, essentially board of chocolate, that's composed of different ribs. And yeah, I don't know that is there a English equivalent. You know what, let's check. dic.leo.org, this is my favorite English German dictionary, and Schokoladenrippe. It's not even a word there. Rippe, Schokolade. Chocolate, yeah, of course. Ridge, fin, rib, web. Bar of chocolate. Yeah, it's a chocolate bar. Continuous fin. Yeah, this doesn't really... Okay, so let's go with English. Rib of chocolate. Yeah, I'm not quite sure that this is... Missing translation is here from 2015. Okay. Block of chocolate. Right, with bar, I'm translating what was written here. With bar, if it is, my internet research is to be trusted, with bar, people mean an entire board of chocolate, or just a bar like a Mars or a Snickers. And the answer is yes, it is. Bar would be misleading. Okay, so this is different, like a Mars or a Snickers. And a rib of chocolate is one row that you break off this board. My god, we're here in murky waters, and I'm already having again the craving for chocolate. Okay, so a few pieces. Someone else is saying the discussion is nothing new. There's already a discussion going on here. You won't believe, perhaps you believe the world's largest producers of chocolate. Bar is the correct term. Period. Okay. My god. The scholars quarrel? My god, this is from 2005. And it's a long thread for 2 years. So thanks for finally setting that right, to think that they had me hanging this thread. I hate to break it to everyone, but the technical English name is chocolate tablet. At least according to AC Nielsen and Euromonitor and the European Commission when it is assessing the market for such products. Schokoladenriegel are officially known as count lines by the same sources, though Wikipedia calls them candy bars in the US and chocolate bars in England. Count lines. So it's a chocolate tablet. And you know what? I will Google for this and hope that we don't see iPads made of chocolate. So yeah, this chocolate tablet, this looks good. Chocolate tablet. Yeah, I think this is the one word that I've been missing. And this one rib of this chocolate tablet, I will call just you break off one row. Good, so chocolate tablet. Name chocolate tablet. And there it says rows, and you still have 2 rows. So it's a chocolate tablet, your chocolate tablet, the chocolate tablet. There we go. It's something that's I really like about game dev. It's something that's super straightforward, and then it makes you question everything you know in the end. So yeah, let's have something without chocolate. And I hope I can have some chocolate later. You know what? I got some mini donuts, and they are Simpsons branded. So they are just mini donuts with pink frosting and sprinkles on them, and on the cover itself is just Homer eating the same donut and going mm. And for some reason this totally works for me. It's probably just some super heavily processed sugar and fat, but I mean if it's good enough for Homer, it should be good enough for me, which is not essentially a thing of quality. So Flask, there I need another to do. So what is your vice? Tobacco. And tomorrow you will run out of, but that's a different story. And for today, you return the old can to its place and fill your flask with what's left in the pot. And I don't like this apostrophe. I like this one much better. Good, so you close the drawer with the remaining cookies. Oh, we're not having an entire chocolate tablet. We're using... You close the drawer. You wrap the remaining cookies in a handkerchief and put it in your pocket. We don't need to say that we close the drawers. For today, you wrap the remaining cookies in a handkerchief and put it in your pocket. And there, of course, we need to say set item dot flask dot location is lock I, and we have it here in the inventory. There we have it's the flask, it's not the tablet of chocolate, because I completely forgot that we have cookies. So cookies, and of course we need the cookies object now. And tobacco is you put the pack of cigarettes in your pocket and neatly place the matches beside of it, for moments of need. In your pack with the remaining cigarettes in your pocket, for moments of need. Set a pack of cigarettes location there. And finally, vice alcohol. You fill your flask with the remaining booze from the bottle. And The glass as dirty as before. It doesn't make a lot of sense now, but yeah, maybe I will change this. And now I say items flask location is in the inventory. And once the switch is done, whatever we did, we say include function update bar, that the sidebar gets updated. Right, what don't I have? It's the cookies item. Ingvar is here. Hey there, what's up? Hey Ingvar, I'm currently coding a little inventory. Well, it's not so much an inventory puzzle, it's just something to get my text adventure going. And let me show you the flowchart if I haven't closed it. There we go. So essentially what I want to achieve is, in the game we exit the elevator and are in front of our detective office's door, but we can't get it open. We need a lockpick. And we don't have one, because once we have one, we go to the mini game, which is yet to be designed. So if we don't have a lockpick, we ask our lift boy Artie. But if we haven't been nice to Artie before, or if we have been nice to Artie before, Artie gives us a lockpick, no problem. But if not, we need to bribe Artie. And if we haven't bribed him, of course, we can always ask him, but he won't give us anything, so we need to bribe him. And our detective can have one of 4 vices, that is either coffee, tobacco, chocolate, or alcohol, right? So, and depending on what your detective's vice is, Artie will ask you for either alcohol, tobacco, coffee, or chocolate. And this is what I'm coding right now. So when we're here in the apartment, we can pick up something. Coffee, tobacco, chocolate, or whatever we have. And this is what I'm currently coding right now. So if you have coffee, you can pour it into your flask. If you have alcohol, you can pour it into your flask. If it's tobacco, you get the pack of cigarettes with you. And if it's cookies, you wrap the cookies in a handkerchief and put it in your pocket. Maybe this might be interesting because I mentioned it's a handkerchief that we put it in our pocket, and I hope this doesn't bite me in the ass later on when I need something where the player needs to have a handkerchief for something or a bit of cloth. And players remember, I put the cookies in the handkerchief. But of course, if you, pick any other vice, you wouldn't have this handkerchief. So I'm glossing over this right now, but it might be problematic later on. So, but cookies, the item of cookies does not yet exist because I have it here as chocolate tablet. So I just say here, cookies is container false. Cookies, not Wookiees. A cookies, it's just cookies. It's your cookies or the cookies. And it's cookies there are still 2 cookies left. So it's not many, but yeah, you have to exchange a cookie for a lockpick in that case. Or a swig from your flask, how much ever that is. And cigarettes, let's say we just have 2 cigarettes. So it's really something that once we have to share, we don't have much and you share half of it, or need to share half of it with the lift boy. So this might be problematic later on. So then we need to restock somewhere to progress. Right. Cool. Okay, so this works. So I copy this cigarette pack. Did I call this cigarette pack here? Where was it? Cigarette pack or pack of cigarettes. Of course I called it differently. Cigarette pack. The cigarette pack in Las Vegas only this week. Right, items. Paste. And of course I need to set a location for the cookies, cigarette pack and the flasks. And I got an email. This is wonderful. But they should already be in our inventory. You know what? Let's try this out and I will start You know what? I will start from the top and see if this really ends up here in our inventory. Commander Stitch is here, welcome! Right, so let's go through this character creation here. Yeah, this is our name. And right, so let's start with coffee. So now I have inventory flask. This is good. Let's try it for the other things. Cigarette, pack of cigarettes is in the inventory. Oh, by the way, for today, you put the pack with the remaining cigarettes in your pocket, you know, for moments of need. You put some mentions right next to it for moments of need. Okay, so there we got twice the phrase moments of need, so maybe the second one needs to go. From its few remaining siblings. And okay, I just want to make sure that I never mention how many cigarettes are still in there. Good. Bite of chocolate. You wrap the remaining cookies in a handkerchief and put it in your pocket. Good. So we got here the cookies, and finally bourbon. And you fill the flask with the remaining booze from the bottle. The glass is as dirty as before. Again, this probably can go. It doesn't add anything. And we got the flask in our inventory, and the fly is back. Be gone, Jeff Goldblum. Be gone. Where was I? Right, 40s detective Chandler. Good. Okay, so essentially now we can progress through the game. We even got the office keys, which now we don't need. You know what? I need to make sure that that we don't pick up the office keys. So probably we should pick up something else. But right now, again, it doesn't make sense that we pick up the office keys and then we can't open the office because we lost the keys. So I will mark this as to do. Find something else to pick up, because I really like it. This construct here that I have, that you have to click both the gun and the office keys, and only then the exit appears of this passage. So the next thing that I need to do is, of course, I need to make sure that depending on what our detective's vice is, that also here in my debug snapshot, where I'm just filling all the data structures that the game expects later on, that if I haven't, again for debugging, if I don't go through this entire process here, that my character is set up correctly. So here is, in the end, I need to switch something. So switch the vice, player prefs vice, and then of course I need to give them what they need into the inventory. So case $vice tobacco set $item pack of cigarettes. No, it was cigarettes pack. Location is $lock.i. Good. Then case the vice is alcohol, is the flask that we have, and I will keep this for now. And if the vice is chocolate, is this too small? It probably is too small, so this is much bigger that you can follow along. So then cookies location, and if it's alcohol, but also if it's coffee. And of course I don't need those logical checks, because this is a case. Switch, and there we go, is coffee. Right, and let's check this, because here in the office building I have here this include debug snapshot. So at this point, when I start the story from here, depending on the vice that I set here, so let's set our, is this the debug snapshot? Yes, this is the debug. Good. So the vice to tobacco, and the pronoun is to male. So once the tobacco is set here, it should start us here with the, oh dear, Errors. Okay, item. Okay, so that's the problem. Or is it? Wait. $item. Flask location is. Okay, probably should have read. Oh, of course. There we go. There was one pointy bracket too little. What is that audio in the background? Is it singing? There is audio in the background. It's probably the neighbors out on on the ground, a couple of floors down. Silently error within content. Set bad evaluation. State set item cigarettes pack is undefined. Probably because I mistyped, or did it call differently? What did I call it? Items. Cigarette pack. Oh, okay. You know what? I will quick find and search for cigarette pack and replace it with cigarettes pack. Can you use underscores and variable names in JavaScript? I think you can. I think you can, because then I will just change it everywhere. Because that's should be cigarettes pack. Yeah, this looked good. Should be much less prone to errors. Cigarettes pack location. So, okay. Yes, you can. Okay, good. So, pack of cigarettes. This is good. And Ingvar also agrees. Thank you. And chocolate. Good. So, let's try this out with tobacco, alcohol. Testing. It's the flask. And it. Then tobacco. So many vices. And it's the flask again. Okay, so why is that? Tobacco, cigarettes pack location. Did I specify tobacco correctly? Or type it correctly? Vice, tobacco. Oh, I said alcohol, so. Oh, I changed it here, the vice. Okay, never mind then. Oh, by the way, if I can say here, if the vice is tobacco, I can also set that the player is a smoker to true. And good, okay. So let's try this again. Pack of cigarettes, but there's a if now. This one here. And finally, let's go with vice is coffee. Then it should also be the flask. Good. Okay, this worked. Let's keep this wonderful thing open. So we have this here, ask RT. We have to check whether we were nice to RT, and we have RT giving us our lockpick. What we don't have is the check whether we already have bribed RT or not. So yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. So this is conversation 1B. And you were nice to RT, you ignored RT, you were rude to RT. And you were rude to RT, you ignored RT. Again, this is just standing text, and let's say this is RT convo RT1C bribe. What did I just do? I didn't mean to close it. I wanted to copy it over. And of course, I want to have this no break and insert my breaks here manually, because I like to do things manually. But I mean, I can even put this in a paragraph before the switch and this one after the switch. Then of course I can also end the conversation At any point, if we don't want to bribe RT, we don't have to, but the game just won't progress because I'm such a nice game dev. So, do you want to bribe, or let's say RT tells you what he wants. Do you want to bribe him? And yes, no. And yeah, this is link yes. And at the end of this link, and then we make let's make a div box and say it's of class choices, and make this an unordered list. You know what? I can make it just the unordered list of class choices. Airplane choices. Hello fly. And list item link yes. And another list item for link no. There we go. Beautiful, isn't it? And when we say yes, then we need to display something, and this is PID result P, and so this is what the link where the link goes to. Room elevator perhaps, and what the link displays. I think this is how it works, so I just say link yes, and we go to room elevator, or no, and we go to room elevator. But of course then we need to set a flag or something else, or we can say this was yes, right. When we say yes, then we set the item lockpick location, not lock. Location is, this is the German word, location is $lock_i. Now it's in our inventory, and replace result. I'm just replacing the text that shows up here with something. And I'm not quite sure about this replace syntax, so I will go with sugar cube 2 documentation. There we go. And just see how to replace link replace. Yeah, just the regular replace selected transition. So replace dog with something in there. Yeah, okay, good. And we can even have it fade in. T8N, and replace, and say RT gives you the lockpick. Cool. And we can say no and also end the conversation, but if we say no, we maybe, you know what, maybe we can go one step back in the conversation to convo 1b. Right. I hope this is how you first you write where you want to go. Yeah, this is how it should work. Okay, cool. The other thing, of course, is we need to set what we give RT. Of course, we need to remove this from our inventory and also update the inventory. So, right. First, we get the lockpick. Then, when this is done, the replacement is done, we also update the bar. But depending on our vice, yeah, we lose different things. So, switch $p prefs vice. What is our vice? Switch my typing today, I'm really sorry. So the first case is our vice is of type tobacco. Then we set of the item cigarette pack, cigarettes, set minus cigarettes. At this point, maybe it would be cool to check if we have run out of cigarettes, or if you're currently carrying -1 cigarettes. But at this point in the game, I think we should be good. But you know what? Let's maybe say to do check first whether we have enough cigarettes, which would be helpful. Okay, so if it's of vice tobacco, then we give a cigarette. If it's of vice chocolate, have enough in stock. So whatever this is, we do this apparently for everything. So this is the case for tobacco, the case for chocolate, and of course the item is cookies, and we set the cookies in the cookies to -1. It's more interesting now if the case is now coffee. The automated unicorn has a sip of water, and so should I. Agreed. Wonderful stale warm water. Right, chocolate. Where was I? Alcohol. And you know what? It doesn't matter if it's alcohol or coffee, because we carry this in our flask. And for that, whatever we have in our flask is set $flask or item flask fill is that times 0.5. So whatever was in there, we just have now half of it. Cool. I just came to realize maybe we want to display in the inventory how many we still have of something, especially if it's tobacco, or if it's a pack of cigarettes or something, that it just shows up. So maybe we want to say replace RT gives you the lockpick. You still have left. Yeah, this is not the best way of describing things, but I will just copy over this switch statement. Essentially, it's just a print statement. So if it's switch or vice, if it's tobacco, then we just print out the cigarettes and just say cigarettes. If it's chocolate, we just say the variable and cookies. If it's of type alcohol or coffee, then it's just the flask is full by %. It's really just for testing purposes. So let's hope that this works. Oh, of course, I want to set a no-brainer or a no-break. RT tells him what he wants. Do you want to bribe him? And this is an unlinked list that goes until here, and this is the result. Maybe this should go up here. Oh no, what? It's better if it's where it was before, and we can also always end the conversation. Okay, wow, I really hope that this works now. Okay, so we start here in the office building, and our vice, let's start with our vice is cigarettes. No, it was not cigarettes, our vice was tobacco. Tobacco. Okay, now I'm really curious how many typos I made. So let's be rude to him that we need to use, so ask RT for lockpick. He had been rude. Let's bribe RT. Do you want to bribe him? Yes or no? Yes. Call the elevator with RT riding it. Okay, so this didn't help. Why not? Because let me show you what just happened. Here, this link means that whatever is between the opening tag for link and the closing tag for link, which is down here, and this also was a no break, by the way. So what it does is, as soon as I click this, as I click yes, this here gets executed like it should, but the problem is it instantly jumps to the next room. So we don't really see what has happened. So it would be better to just say then we don't want to jump right away there. It just says yes, and since we're replacing what is happening here in this empty paragraph tag, since we're replacing this, at the end of this replacement I will just add the option to return to room elevator or exit conversation. Again, this is just so that I know what's going to happen or what's happening, and not the best way of writing prose. Okay, it's none of your business. Use your office, call elevator, talk to RT, ask RT for lockpick. He had been rude, so we need to bribe him. Do you want to bribe him? Yes. RT gives you the lockpick, but you still have left exit conversation. Okay, so apparently something is not working here, and we can exit the conversation twice. What if we click no again? You know what? Maybe instead when I click yes again, we could bribe him multiple times on clicking this. So maybe we should go to another passage that it's not possible to keep bribing RT, or saying yeah, I'm going to bribe you, or we say yes, 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 and then click no, and then in the end it says it doesn't work. So, oh my god, this is for this very simple puzzle, it's already a lot of work. So if we want to bribe him, do you want to bribe him? Then we say yes, and this entire replacement thing here just can go. And we just go, when we say yes, we go to RT1. Did I type this correctly? No, RT convo. It's convo RT1D. And this is already getting a bit unwieldy, I really have to say. And if no, RT1B. The end conversation is, we go, you know what, we can even make this a list item. Like so. Good. Okay, so we got here convo 1D. And here we can say if no break. So we say yes, we want to bribe you. Right, then we set the lockpick location to us. We need to check first if we have enough item in stock. This we need to do before this here. So this should happen at this point. This, by the way, this will probably be printed out because it's not encased in a script tag. So this is, yeah, it's not the way of doing comments in HTML. Right, good. So we're back at the lockpicking location. So we said yes. Depending on our vice, we get a different result, and then we exit out of the conversation. This is good. So this is a paragraph, and here ends a paragraph, and we exit out of the conversation. And it's also, we don't need to have this in a replace tag. Right, so replace result. We don't replace result, we just display what is happening here. So RT gives you the lockpick you still have left. Then we print, yeah, let's just be sure, print cigarettes or print cookies. The flask you have, oh no, why this, sorry, yeah, this makes sense. I'm in my head already 3 steps ahead of myself. Okay, yeah, let's try this, whether this is working. Programming is hard. So unlock office, call elevator, talk to RT, convo RTB, bribe. You want to bribe him? No. Okay, do you want to bribe him? Yes. Or end conversation? Okay, this end conversation works. Bribe, yes. Cannot find closing tag for P. RT gives you the lockpick you still have left. Can't find a closing tag for P. Okay, but we get the lockpick. This is already something, and there's a problem in here. Yeah, this is the closing tag for P that we have. Still have left, and this is the end of this bracket that I introduced here. So switch case, switch, prefs wise, if wise tobacco, print cigarette pack, cigarettes. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why this is not executing. Let's find out. Room hallway. Right, P, and also make this, and yeah, no, this the P tag of course needs to be outside of the if block. I'm just trying to make things nice. Okay, you call the elevator with RT writing it. Unlinked list, class, choices, list item, closing tag for list item, closing tag for unitemized list. Okay, good. So none of your business. Unlock office, call elevator, talk to RT, RTB, bribe, yes. RT gives you the lockpick you still have left, and it doesn't show me anything. Okay, then plan B, we need to play this in the test mode and have a look at all this essentially. Okay, so it's none of your business. Unlock your office, call elevator, talk to RT, bribe, yes. Okay, so what is going on? Link you still have left. Yeah, it doesn't show me. Thank you. This is super unhelpful debugging mode. Player prefs wise. Okay, so maybe, you know what, let's try a default. Something's not right, frowny. Something not right. Oh, the automated unicorn disagrees. This is not nice of you, automated unicorn. It just doesn't print it. For some reason, it does not print what I wanted to print. So what do I want it to print? So when my vice is tobacco, then the cigarette pack cigarettes, I want to print this out, how many cigarettes we have. Does print need a closing print tag? And we're back in documentation. Print. No, it does not. Print does not. But oh, this is cool. You can even use, oh, it's turns. This is something else. I just thought you can use a variable inside a print statement and then just provide the variable at the end. But it's not the case. Shouldn't a cigarette be plural? Ingvar, good question. So here for the print, I'm just trying to find this print here. Well, hello there, print name. Implicitly printing via the naked variable markup. Well, hello there, Mr. Freeman. Using the no wiki markup. Yeah, this is not what I want. But yeah, you know what? You're right, Ingvar. Let's have a look at how I called my items. Right, so item cigarettes pack is plural. Flask is filled and cookies has cookies. So cigarettes pack should be plural and cigarettes pack is not plural. There we go. Thank you so much for catching this. I have a good feeling about this now. Call elevator, talk to RT, convo RT, bribe. Yes. It still doesn't show. It still doesn't show, but at least we're having some sort of progress. Default. Oh really, you don't even complain if there is nothing. So p prefs vice. Oh, there's the error. So I'm checking the vice for the player preferences in the player preferences, which is another object, right? So the player character has here prefs, and the vice you can see here is small caps, and that's why it's not working. That's why it's not working, because the vice is an abstract class. I'm not quite sure what the equivalent is, but let's try this again. Call elevator, go to RT bribe. Yes, you still have left 1 cigarettes. There we go. Exit conversation, talk to RT. Already got lockpick, say thanks. Cool. Okay, so now I can only exit and go to the hallway. You open the office, link to lockpicking minigame. It works! Now let's do this for all the other vices, but I have a good feeling now. So the vice is, this was here, tobacco. Let's go with coffee. Days without case sensitivity biting someone's ass, 0. Exactly. But yeah, at this point I really should know better, right? But there we go. It's not so much the case sensitivity that was the problem, but that I was not adhering to my own code structure or nomenclature of how to do things. None of your business. Call the elevator, talk to RT, bribe. Yes, we got the lockpick. Flask is full of number, not a number. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so apparently I have another thing where I mistyped something. Good to know. Go talk to RT. You already got the lockpick, so probably we should only get the lockpick when we have the conditions met. Good to know. Good to know. So, what did I try to do? Alcohol flask.fill is item flask.fill times 0.5. Okay, so well then let's check. Flask.fill. I said filled, not fill, but because my name is Phil, I will just go with fill, and that should be much better. The next thing, of course, yay, different error, exactly. So the next thing will be rounding, right? Because I have a ugly feeling that it will display like this entire long floating point error thingy, or not error, it's just where it's not entirely accurate. So talk RT bribe. Yes. Oh, it didn't. It worked. Your flask is full by 12.5%. Good. Okay. Exit conversation. This worked. This worked. Okay, so let's try. This was coffee. We had coffee. We had cigarettes. Now let's try with cookies. This was chocolate. Chocolate. Yeah, right. Chocolate. There we go. It's with German and English switching. You write things like chocolate. There you go. Doing great. No, we want now. Let's try ignoring RT. Talk to RT. You had ignored RT, but bribing will help. RT gives you a lockpick. You still have left 1 cookies. Exit conversation. Talk to RT. Already got hallway. Perfect. This also works. And finally, alcohol. Play. Okay, it's none of your business. Unlock your office. Call the elevator. Talk to RT. Convo, ask RT for lockpick. You had been rude. Let's bribe RT. I want to bribe him. And the flask is full by 0.125%. It's not percent, it's... I need to multiply this with 100 that it's correct. But yeah. Exit conversation. Go to RT. We already got the lockpick, so we can only say thanks. Go to the hallway and there we go. Wonderful. Okay, so the functionality of this little puzzle is now fully working and complete. And it's this horrible mess of a conversational tree. I don't think I can arrange it in any sort of meaningful way, but yeah, at least, I mean, this is a hub, so we are here at the hallway and the elevator, and the elevator we can talk to RT in there from the hallway. Okay, cool. So this works, and I'm getting a slight migraine already. It's probably because I didn't drink enough today, but yeah, I'll just finish my water and then see where to go from here. Okay, so what is working now is that we can bribe RT. What still needs to be done, of course, is Frank redeemed unicorn. Yes, thank you. So I've run out of water. But for you, Frank, this is the last little drop that I still had in there. Right. Oh God, I think it must be the weather. First it was the nose itching, and now it's between the pressure between my temples. Good. Okay, what do I need to do? That the one thing is, in the apartment, find something else to pick up instead of the keys, because we forget the keys. What else needs a detective to pick up? Oh, you know what? The hat, perhaps. Maybe it's your hat. I mean, they got the gun, they got their public transport ticket, they got whatever vice they have. Yeah, there's children screaming, or yeah. I don't know. A handkerchief? Yeah, we've wrapped the cookies in our handkerchief. You know what? Maybe this could work. Since I mentioned before that we wrapped the cookies in our handkerchief and put it in your pocket. We got the cookies and of course the handkerchief in our pocket. But now the handkerchief has become a container containing the cookies. Okay, so no, this is quite problematic. I will completely ignore the handkerchief now, because my idea was that if you don't have chocolate as your vice, you could also use the handkerchief. You could pick up the handkerchief and use it, but then again, of course, once you need to use it and it's still full of cookies, it's, yeah, already I'm seeing problems there. But right, let's, you know what, I will just clean up here this conversation tree. So I already got the lock pick, say thanks, or ask RT for lockpick. And this lockpick, essentially this one is the link. Or you know what? It's not the link, ask RT is the link. And convo RT1B is the target, right? Or exit conversation, but I can copy this from here end conversation. This always works. And I can also make this a paragraph, so I'm already in the stage of formatting. So switch lift boy, I can. You ignored RT. You need to bribe him. I like it better when it's in the text. So it had been rude to RT, you need to bribe him. You were nice to RT, you explain your situation. RT gives you a lockpick or the lockpick. Set lockpick location to the player, update and switch this one or end the switch, and we can only end the conversation at this point. Okay, this is good. And here RT tells you what he wants. Do you want to bribe him? Yes, no, or end conversation. This also works. And if we say yes, then this is what happens here after bribing him, and then we end the conversation. And end conversation room is not a room, this is a typo that I had made before. So, okay, cool. I will try this out again with current state that we have. So it's none of your business. Unlock office. Call elevator. Talk to hallway. Call elevator. Okay. Talk to RT. Ask RT for lockpick. Okay, so there is a lot of white space here. This is probably because I said here no breaks. No breaks. And here with the office building, it's also no breaks. There it was. Hallway, right. So when I want to call the elevator, so let's put the paragraph tags here. And then we can call the elevator in a single paragraph at the bottom as well. I like this better. Have player forget key at home. This we already have. Okay, good. Ignore. Lock your office. Call elevator. Talk to RT or go to hallway. Talk to RT or end conversation. Need to bribe him. Do you really want to bribe him? No. But yeah. Yes. Still have left. Exit conversation. Talk to RT. He says thanks. End conversation. Go to hallway. And good. There we are. And if I restart this entire thing, and we have been nice to RT. You're doing great, kid. And I talk to RT. Asking for a lockpick. I get the lockpick and end the conversation. Go to the hallway, and it works. Wonderful. Because I think I have to forego the rest of this stream because my head is killing me, and I don't think I can do any more programming. But let's summarize what I wanted to do today, and it was include a little puzzle or just something where you need to do something, or you get rewarded if you've been nice to the lift boy for some reason, and to enter your office. And this was so the first taste for players that the game tells you you didn't make a good choice, but you can rectify it by just bribing the lift boy or just using some of the items that you have in your inventory. But now we're on our last straw in terms of all the vices that we have, so it's either the last cigarette or the last sip of coffee or whatever. But at least now we're in our office where the story continues. Sorry. But what won't continue, of course, is now the stream, because I need to find an aspirin, and and maybe lie down a little bit or something. I'm really sorry that this is going to be cut a bit short, but yeah. Hopefully I'm feeling better next week. My God, I think it's the weather that's killing me, because now with the heat wave, and then yesterday there was this thunderstorm, and today thunderstorm, and now it's gone again, and the sun is out. It's super weird. Don't worry, headaches are to be avoided. Yes, if you can, please drink enough when you go outside and are in the scorching sun. Wear a hat or a cap or just something, because this is another thing that I'm very prone to. Eat healthily, and as always, don't bang your head on your keyboard if something is not working out. I know it feels like work, but it won't get you anywhere. Right, so let me switch over to hi, it's me in big, but not better. Ingvar says, get well soon, Phil, have a nice rest of the day. Yeah, again, thank you so much for dropping by, everyone. Again, I really appreciate it, especially when I mix up or shuffle a little bit my streaming times. So I'm always grateful if some people can manage to drop by who aren't there, and I'm super frankful. I'm super grateful to Frank that somehow pretty much any time you make it. Again, it really means a lot to me that you set aside some time to just hear me ramble and watch me try to program something. Okay, so I wish you a wonderful week. Please be safe and be sure that you don't have any headaches or anything worse. Stay safe, everyone. And again, I thank you so much for watching, and we will continue probably next week. And yeah, until then, I hope I have something more to show that's more of a game. So probably I will already, I hope, knock on wood, that probably was not the best idea, that I have a mini game sorted out that works as text. Cool. Okay, have a great day again. I don't know how to wrap things up, so cheers.